People are losing their minds right now over really, really dumb stuff. If you're a celebrity, just stay quiet. Don't say anything unless you're willing to stand up for it. And probably if you have a job like in a film or on a TV show, you're probably going to lose it. So I guess it's how much do you want to stand up for, the side you believe in, if you really believe in something, or do you want to work? I really wouldn't have anything against you if you decided to just stay quiet. I think, people need to eat. People want to work. It is what it is. Sam Witwer thought he was doing some good, some common sense things. But as we've seen on Twitter with everything going on right now, you're not allowed to have common sense. You're not allowed to want equality. You're not allowed to want solidarity. You need to just be for destruction or in looting, or you're a piece of garbage and you need to be canceled. So Sam Witwer, he announces that he has a friend that's in law enforcement. He's got a police friend. And this guy's different because he calls out bad stuff. But oh boy, you're not allowed to have that position. You have to demand your friend quit his job. He needs to quit his job. Yep, he needs to quit his job, and I don't know what he's supposed to go do without his job, but he's got to quit it. So Sam Witwer is, of course, the voice of Darth Maul in the animated versions of Darth Maul. Then there's, of course, Ray Park. He was the original Darth Maul, but Sam Witwer has been doing the voice of the character for a long time, very, very long time. And he almost is more Darth Maul than Ray Park at this point. So if you've watched Rebels or the Clone Wars cartoons, or if you've even seen, I think, Solo, the terrible Solo movie, Sam voiced Darth Maul in that movie. If you didn't know that, spoilers, you don't even need to watch that movie anyway. It sucks. But anyway, here's what happened. So Matt Shell here, who apparently works at Lucasfilm, says this: contrary to what I'm reading, it's entirely possible to condemn bad cops and support good ones. All those who you're going to call when you are in trouble. I'm going to call the police. The good ones, the majority, will politely ask the racist, abusive old people pushing outliers to stay home. Okay? I think that that's a good point. And this is a response right here from David Sinclair, who is involved in Australian film and TV industry. He's a martial artist, musician, author, and artist. He says, exactly, I am friends with a few people. I'm friends with a few police officers, and they are decent people. And this is true. Not all police are bad. I don't know why this is such a crazy concept. Yes, there are some bad ones. Okay, there's bad ones in every job. Do the bad ones need to be held accountable? Yes. If they do bad things, should they face justice? Yes. No one disagrees with this. I think most people, in fact, 100% agree with this. Sam chimes in response to David and says, yes, one of my best friends is a cop, and we talk about this stuff every day. Okay? I don't see the problem there. But unfortunately, woke Twitter is going to have a problem with that, and now Sam's friend and Sam need to be canceled. Sam, spoiler alert, bends the knee here to the mob. Says he shouldn't have said anything. Probably shouldn't have. But then I don't see a bad take here with what he said. I don't see the problem with what he said. Exactly. I'm friends with a few police officers and they're decent people. And then he responds and says, one of my best friends is a cop and we talk about this stuff every day. He's saying that they talk about bad police officers. Where's the problem here? There's nothing wrong here. But of course, as we've seen over the past couple of days, how many people have voiced opinions like this and been put through the ringer? I look at Kevin Conroy, for example, the voice of Batman. If you went and looked at his Twitter, like I said in my video on it, he lines up with a lot of the crazy views on Twitter where he's talking about the orange man and all that nonsense. He just said, I don't want to see looting. I think looting is wrong. And of course, he was getting canceled for that. So, You're not allowed to have any opinion unless it's their opinion, apparently, that's not very far from Twitter. That's actually kind of the norm on Twitter. And Twitter didn't waste any time coming after him. It started right here. This is where the nonsense started. And Sam, you could still actually voice your opinion and just not respond to these people. I think if he had just not responded to this person here, he actually would have been okay. But this person retweets him and says, "Don't be shy, Sam. Tell your friend to quit his job." This is, of course, this person retweeting one of my best friends is a cop, and we talk about this stuff every day. Sam decides to chime back in and says, "Can't. The man's an amazing, moral dude and believes in remaining calm and professional." Now, the problem is, apparently, these people don't exist. Every single person in blue is a terrible person right now, which is, the narrative that's being pushed. I don't get it. If something ever bad really happens to you, you got to call these people, right? So I just think all this is stupid. I fear for the people that live in Minneapolis. Let me tell you, you guys are going to have a new revolutionary safety program, and all of that money is going to go towards social programs. Good luck. Someone steals your car, maybe somebody can come up with a whistle and say, "Please don't steal that man's car, sir. Please don't steal it." That'll solve the problem. The guy's going to drop everything. And I got to say, oh, yeah, you're right. I've seen the error of my ways. Okay, so anyway, that person responds to him with this. I'm not going to play it, but it's basically a dinosaur going, "Get that effing dinosaur out of here." That's pretty much it. And then here comes the rest of the mob squad. So we see this, but is he taking a stand against the bad cops? Does he honor his morals and report the corruption he sees? Because we all know he has seen plenty. Or does he turn a blind eye? Morals mean nothing if you allow immorality to flourish unchecked. I believe he said his friend is standing up against that stuff. And how would you know if he's seen plenty? All you see is what the news pumps out at you all the time. And a lot of the stuff is they leave a lot of details out on what's actually happened. Or when when body cam footage comes out and it shows, hey, something might have caused this to happen, that gets left out as well. Then they never report on that, and then they just let the mobs run around and get angry. A lot of that stuff, it happens quite a bit. But we never go back and talk about that stuff. Going right here, "You were my role model. And for what?" So this person is crushed because he has a police officer friend. And that apparently means that he's no longer a role model. What's funny about this is I wonder if this person is even really a big Star Wars fan. Sam, please no. But it stands in a corrupt system, Sam. People are angry. Goodbye. We got this one pointing a firearm at him. "I trusted you," same person chiming back in. And so on, and so on, and so on. It's just funny. Here comes another one and says, "Sam Witwer, you have failed us. Like Darth Maul doesn't hate cops." He's supposed to be the character. This reminds me of the weird Raylos. Like the Raylos actually wanted Adam Driver to hook up with Daisy Ridley in real life because they were so desperate for these people to really be together. He says, "You realize there are black cops, right? You realize we need cops, right? Needing extreme reform doesn't mean we need to get rid of the concept of police." And he's just doubling down at this point, and you see them come in. Now, at the end of the story here, he ends up apologizing for voicing his opinion. It wasn't the right opinion, so he needs to apologize. Sam saying, "But not my cop friend," is just as bad as saying not all white people or not all men. Even if he is a good person, this isn't the time to talk about it. When people talk about their struggles, it isn't time to defend yourself. Read the room. Let me address your point. Yes, not right now. Read the room. I hear you. He goes on.
I just heard you but didn't acknowledge your point. Then let me reiterate, read the room. There's a time and place. I agree. Other voices need to be heard right now. I totally agree. It wasn't my intent to defend the system. And if you want me to give you a visibility boost in you talking about your opinion in your life, I can also do that. I think listening is very important. I can have opinions and feelings, but I am acknowledging that now is the time for me to express my nuances of my opinion. So here's what I think about all of this. Okay, I think you shouldn't let people run down all police because not all of them are bad. In fact, I would say the majority of them are good people. I think that, like I said, there's bad apples everywhere. Do they need to be held accountable? Yes. Do they need to be fired? Yes. People, and I see a lot of people like, well, Floyd did this and that. It's not about, who he was or what he was. The fact is, you don't put your knee on someone's neck like that for as long as that guy did. In fact, believe it or not, that's actually against policy at departments. That's not justified force to knee someone's neck like that. That guy absolutely should be fired and probably charged for doing that. No one thinks that that's justifiable. You don't do that, especially when you have 4 people holding the guy down. It's nonsense. That guy is a bad police officer and should be taken care of. But not all of them are bad. I actually agree with Sam. If he was going to voice his opinion like he did, I think he should have stuck with it instead of punking out and bending the knee. If you didn't intend to go through with it, Sam, you should have just not said anything, and you should have just stayed quiet. I agree with that point too. You shouldn't have said anything, but since you did, you should have went through with it, and you should have stuck with it. In my opinion, you're kind of letting your friend down since you were defending him in the first place, and then you kind of cucked out. That's my opinion on it. You should have stood with your principles if you were going to voice them, Sam. Anyway, that's pretty much it. More nonsense. It's just a crazy world out there right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this. Also, if you would throw a like up, share the video. Interaction, very important. Also, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.